Okay. YouTube says we're live now. I'm gonna hold off on any introductions until some people actually show up in the stream. Also, I hope the audio is fine. I like double checked the audio, triple checked it like a bunch of times, so it should be okay. I probably should have made a community post about this. That probably would have been a great idea. All right, the community post is live. It still says there's no viewers. Oh, because I left it unlisted. Because I'm an idiot. Haha. I totally didn't accidentally set. Okay, we're not dropping any frames. That's good. We should be actually live now. I totally did not leave the stream unlisted for like 2 minutes and was wondering why no one was in here yet. Although, I mean, YouTube doesn't say anyone's here yet, which I think it takes like a couple minutes for it to catch up. Oh, we got one viewer. We got one viewer finally. All right. I'm gonna hold off on like introductions or anything until there's like at least a few people here, because I don't want to have to like repeat things. I mean, I wasn't gonna repeat anything anyways, but we're just gonna wait until there's some more people here. Probably in the future, if I do more streaming, I'm probably gonna actually schedule stuff. I just kind of thought, this is a good opportunity to stream, and I have everything set up, so I figured, you know what? Today's a good day to stream. It's a Sunday, like nobody's gonna be really working. Also, for the 3 viewers that are in here, does the audio sound fine? I hope the mic sounds fine. I did like I like triple checked it, and it sounded fine to me. All right, we got one dude. Oh, we got two. Audio is good. Nice. All right. Sweet. Okay. The whole table on like this side of the camera, you can't see it, is a complete mess. It we're just going with it. I don't have that much room. I am in the garage. This is normally where I film, because I don't have room really in my room to have like a full on-camera setup. All right, we got like 4 people in here. I imagine there's going to be some more showing up soon. But yeah. So welcome to the first, I guess, proper NTG stream. I did technically do a stream, I think last year. I forget when last year. It might have been like almost a year ago now. I streamed the whole thing off of Sony Handycams because I didn't have this camera. This camera also is not very good. This is just a Logitech C920 webcam. But I have it on a tripod, and it's the only camera I have that has a wide enough field of view to really work for this. So that's what we're going with. So the stream that I did last year, we worked on a Dell Latitude D530. That wasn't very successful. In fact, that computer still does not work correctly. If you put more than 2 gigs of RAM in it, it gets really screwed. Actually, more than 1 gig. I think it only takes a gig, and it gets like super like screwed up. That really sucks. I was kind of hoping that laptop was going to do better, but we're gonna be. You can already read the title. We're gonna be rebuilding the XP machine. I will explain why that is, because last year I did the whole video where I half rebuilt it anyways. But I'm gonna explain why we're doing that, because it has some pretty severe issues that have cropped up, and they kind of need to be addressed because the machine's not in the most usable state at the moment. But first, I actually wrote this down because I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget stuff. I'm gonna be talking about the streams, but first, I kind of set the precedent for myself on having handy cams be the cameras. I'm not gonna subject you to the handy cams for the overhead view, but I do have this. This is not a handy cam. This is a 1986 RCA full-size VHS camcorder. I don't know the model. Being RCA, I'm pretty sure it's made by JVC. I didn't really look at it. I've had this thing for like 9 years, I think. I think I got it in 2016. The tape mechanism is all screwed up. It did technically record when I first got it. It doesn't anymore. But the camera part still works. This camera actually has autofocus. Not that it works super great. It's not like a modern autofocus. I think it goes purely off of like, it's like measuring distance or something. It's not like a modern autofocus. It works okay for the time. It doesn't really work great here, but you know, we're gonna use it. This camera didn't actually have composite out. It does. It has, you know, it on the connector. I didn't have the cable for it, so I only had the RF modulator. So I had to open up the RF modulator and solder directly off the composite line, just a cable. And somehow the quality doesn't look that bad. I mean, sure, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad. Did I BIOS update the Dell? I think I did. I'm pretty certain I did. Yeah, no, I most certainly did. Because the problem is that I got the wrong CPU upgrade for it, and then what happened was I didn't stream the follow-up. I was gonna just do like an update video, and that's when I ran into more issues with like the RAM and stuff, and I figured out, oh, this laptop's kind of, it's a little screwed up. Like if you put more than a gig of RAM in it, like the video gets all corrupted or something. Like I think there's an issue with the memory controller on the motherboard or something like that. Different RAM too. It doesn't matter like what sticks you put in it. You go more than a gig, it just kind of gets screwed up. It does have the faster CPU in it now, the T7200 or whatever, 7250. I forget what went in there. But yeah, that happened. That's why that project never saw a conclusion, because it was really unfulfilling. So yeah, for VHS, the quality is pretty good. Well, that's the thing, is that the quality does look good because this is just a pure NTSC video signal, so it's like 480i resolution. If this was VHS, it'd be like half the vertical resolution. That's why it looks halfway okay. This also is an actual CCD. Be really neat if I had a Vidicon tube camera, because then there'd be light streaking like all over the place, and it'd look awesome. But this is a really early CCD camera from like 1986. I mean, it looks pretty good. This thing has been sitting in my closet forever, so I figured I might as well put it to use while at least the camera part still works, because I'm fine with repairing electronics like computers, motherboards, and stuff. Getting into like analog video and camera stuff is it's a little outside of my comfort zone. Oh yeah, I didn't say this camera always had an issue with the audio. The audio circuitry is just completely screwed up. It's completely gone. It only like outputs like a tiny little bit of static, whether recording or outputting to a TV. It's just screwed. I think the capacitors are just completely shot in this thing, but somehow the video still works. I don't know. It's just been like that. All right, so I should probably get into the actual I should make the chat pop out so I can actually I can see it while I'm looking at OBS. That would be helpful. Hey, there we go. All right. Also, I have slow mode on, but it's only like a 10-second slow mode, so don't worry about that. I just didn't want it because I didn't know how many people are going to actually show up for the stream. I didn't want to get like 50 messages in like a minute and try to read them all because I do want to try to read chat at least halfway. Okay, also I'm not going to call you chat. I am Gen Z, but like I think the overuse of chat is a little cringe. So I don't know. I'm just gonna call you viewers, I guess. I don't know. I wrote down stuff because I didn't want to forget it. So the streams, I would like to do these at least semi often. I'm kind of thinking maybe once a month or maybe I don't know. Once a month might be a bit much. Not necessarily because I don't have the time for it. It's just I also want to still do videos. And so I have to like half tear down the stream camera equipment, put up my main camera equipment, which granted doesn't take that long, but still I gotta do it. So I'm thinking streams at least halfway often, maybe like once a month, maybe once every other month. That might be too infrequent. I don't know. We're just gonna kind of see how it goes, see what the response is to this stuff. Also, it was like 74 Fahrenheit, not Celsius, in the garage earlier. I feel like the temperature's already gone up like 4 degrees. I don't even know if that's because of the lights, but I was like, oh, it's such a nice day to stream. It's like cool. And now it's not. Yay. Uh, so my idea kind of for the streams are they're going to half replace the kind of unscripted, like rambly kind of videos that I've done. Uh, I don't really know how else to describe them. They're unscripted, usually just me talking about a thing. I'm trying to think of the last one I even did. Was that the server video? That was a while ago, wasn't it? Uh, anyways, just me kind of. Or I did the gateway video. The gateway video was kind of like that, although that had a bit more effort in it. I'd like the streams to kind of halfway take the place of that. I wanted to have more of the main videos be actual scripted videos. Um, I still want to do some of the, more casual kind of videos where I'm not presenting on camera and I'm just like behind the camera talking about something. I still want to have those kinds of videos, but I think the streams would be a nice offset for that. Because I guess my more rambly nature, I think, makes a little bit more sense in a live context, but I don't know. I really hope that didn't blow your ears out. I do have a mute button, so I said I can mute myself, so I set up hotkeys on OBS, which is very convenient. If you've never done that on OBS, you really should. It makes things so much more easier. Uh, yeah, the rambly videos aren't going to disappear. Um, it's just they're just going to probably the streams are going to take the place of that somewhat. Also, I am planning at least to edit down the live streams and make them into not like a highlight video in like the traditional sense, but I kind of want to edit them down into as if I was almost doing one of the off the cuff unscripted videos. I haven't tested it yet, obviously, because this is the first test run. But I want to try that. I want to see how it goes. Totally not an excuse for me to double dip on content. But yeah. What's up, Goo? Uh, so we got. So yeah, the streams are going to be edited down into videos. Obviously, I'm going to cut out like all this introduction stuff because like who needs that in the video? And the stream VODs are going to stay up on the channel as well because YouTube keeps them in a separate tab now, so it doesn't clutter up your YouTube channel. That's the only good addition that YouTube has made to the UI in the past like 10 years. And that's really embarrassing. But they at least added that, so we got to be grateful for that. Something fell on the other side of the garage, and I don't know what it was. It sounded like paper. I have no clue. Anyways, that's it for, I guess, what the streams are gonna be like. So what we're doing today is we're rebuilding the XP machine. Considering that this is probably mostly made up of subscribers. I don't know how long you guys have been around. You guys have probably seen the videos on the XP machine. I first built it for the XP 20th anniversary, which was 3.5 years ago now. That was a while ago, and it's been through some changes, a case swap. But the one thing that's been consistent has been the motherboard and the RAM. Oh, and the hard drive. I think those are the only hard drive, like DVD drive and the USB front panel thing. Really like inconsequential stuff other than the motherboard and RAM. Those are the only things that have been the same. I've changed basically everything else in the computer since then, and now even more is going to get changed for reasons I will explain soon. So let me pull the machine out here. I should I'm gonna shrink the chat down so I can actually see what I'm doing. I know there's like a way to have the stream like integrate itself into the OBS interface, but like I don't feel like doing that. Trying to not rub the mic against my shirt because the lapel mic that I use is the same one I use for videos, and it's very sensitive to that kind of thing, so I have to be careful with it. Yeah, so here's the XP machine in its most recent form. The last time you saw it was in the XP making my XP machine more efficient video. Wow, that is really blown out. I should adjust that. Give me a second. Oh, brightness that was the stock brightness? What is it doing? Okay. My hands are just going to be blown out apparently. Thank you, Logitech. What was I? Yeah, XP machine efficiency video. So that was the last time the machine showed up on the channel. So what happened was I wanted to take the power consumption of the machine down because therefore I wanted to reduce the amount of heat getting output into my room. So we moved down from a QX6700 to a Core 2 Duo E8600, which wasn't really a downgrade. If anything, it was an upgrade because I could run faster single-core clocks on it. And I was running it at 4 gigahertz, which was very cool, but there's kind of an issue with that. And I swapped out the dual 8800 GTXs for GTS 250s. These are unfortunately only 512 meg GTS 250s, but you know, they worked fine. And honestly, the machine at the time that I did the video and for, you know, the months after that, it was fine. There really wasn't any issues with it. The only like nagging issue that I had with it was this second GTS 250 that I got. It the cooler kind of rattles on it a little bit. Well, now the video looks dark. Was it just because it was reflecting off of the thing? I think it was reflecting off the panel, and it was screwing up the brightness. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, the second GTS 250. These are XFX 512 meg ones. These are really cheap coolers on here. There's no copper. It's just aluminum and a blower fan. And the heatsink's not very big. I think it's only like maybe like that big or something. Or no, I guess it's a little bigger than that. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I guess maybe it's a little bigger than I thought. Anyways, this card rattles for some reason. I took the whole thing apart. I screwed it back together just to make sure that it was, not loose or anything. I did repaste both of these cards. And it still just kind of rattles a little bit sometimes, especially when the fan ramps up faster. I don't know how to fix that. But other than that, that was the only issue with the system, was that it was a little loud in that regard. A little annoying. That was until early this year. Could be the fan bearing. I mean, it might be. It spins pretty freely, honestly. Like, about as free as the main card, and the main card is fine. These are also just loud cards in general, because again, cheap heatsink with no copper. But, yeah, other than the noise, machine was fine. Early this year, I decided to play through the Call of Duty 2 campaign, because I'd never done that before. I started playing through it on this machine, of course, and I started running into random, like, blue screens and, just system lockups. So at first I thought, oh, okay, great. My overclock wasn't as stable as I thought. So I bumped up the voltage on the CPU. Didn't help it. So I thought, okay, well, let me see if there was any patches for, COD 2, just to see. And there was. I updated to the latest version of the game, at least, the retail version of the game. Updated to the latest one of that, and, yeah. Same thing, it was still getting, like, blue screens and random lockups. And then I started noticing in Supermium that tabs were crashing, and stuff like that. The machine was just not happy in general. So I thought, okay, maybe it's the RAM, because some of the blue screens were kind of indicating RAM issues. And this board, this EVGA Enforce 680i SLI board, has always been a little finicky. Let me see if I can rotate it. There, now you can see it a little better. You can see the NVIDIA logo. Specs. All right, really quick, just basic specs of this right now, since someone's asking. E8600, that was running at 4 gigahertz. EVGA Enforce 680i SLI board, 4 gigs of Kingston XMS2, DDR2 1066 CL5, dual 512 megabyte GTS 250s. This is actually a Dell Sound Blaster X-Fi, but it works fine. And 1 terabyte hard drive, DVD drive. There you go. There's the specs. So I thought, okay, maybe the board voltage isn't good enough. Maybe I need to up the chipset voltage, the front side bus voltage, stuff like that. I bumped up the voltage all on those, which I didn't really want to do, but I figured, okay, maybe it's just not quite as stable as I really thought it was. I had stressed it pretty well, and I thought it was fine. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear a bunch of wind rattling noise. It's windy, of course. There's literally nothing I can do about it. It's windy every single day here. But I did all that, even with the extra voltage on CPU and chipset, front side bus voltage, still I would get blue screens. I tried different GeForce drivers, thinking maybe that was an issue with the game, and all this stuff, and it just could not, and it wouldn't get any better, and I didn't know what to do, really. I had one of those XFX GTS 250s, ran at ADC all the time and thermal throttled, despite repasting it a bunch of times. Yeah, these coolers they're not great. I think mine run in like the low 70s, or not low 70s, high 70s, or around 80. I haven't noticed any thermal throttling. Sounds like a RAM issue to me. So here's the thing. I've had this RAM for a long time. I ran MemTest 86 on it. The RAM fully checks out fine, and the RAM is not overclocked. So this RAM, in theory, is still fine. Now, this board has always been picky about its RAM. The RAM slots are kind of iffy. You have to get it inserted just right. Otherwise, it gets really screwed up and usually doesn't want to post. Like me just barely touching that probably already screwed it up. I'm not even kidding. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, I'm chasing down a RAM issue again because I've ran into this before with this machine, and yeah, it wasn't the RAM. I didn't put different RAM in it, to be fair, but yeah. Maybe the BIOS needs to be updated. This is the latest BIOS. It wasn't originally when I got it, but before I put in the E8600, I did update the BIOS. So it's on the latest one. Could the random crashes be the onboard SATA controller messing up? See, someone commented that on one of my XP machine videos. He's like, "Hey, have you had any issues with the SATA controller on these boards? They're kind of known for being bad." And I was like, "No, I haven't had any issues." And then like a few weeks later, I start having issues with the system. So it might be the SATA controller. So I'm going to blame whoever that guy was. That's his fault. He caused all this. He brought curse to the machine. Yeah. If I cleaned the RAM, no. But here's the thing. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna turn off the overclock. I'm gonna run the E8600 at stock voltage. And the issues kind of went away for the most part. It significantly reduced the amount of blue screens and crashes. Like, significantly. But it still would, I think, occasionally, every once in a while. So what I think was happening is this board, this is a really early, not like early, 775 board, because 775 came out in like 2004. This is from early 2007. I'm trying to run a 1333 megahertz stock frontside bus. That's the stock frontside bus of the E8600. I'm trying to run that in a board for a time when 1333 was considered an overclock frequency. Yeah, I mean, it could be a weird issue with the RAM and the dust. I did reseat these a bunch of times. In fact, maybe I have cleaned it at some point in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't a troubleshooting step I did eventually do at some point. This was like many months ago. I did actually try disabling SLI and taking out another card, taking out one of the cards, even trying the different ones. Same thing happened even with single card, SLI disabled. So it wasn't an SLI issue. No, it's a 680i chipset, not 790. I know the 790s are really questionable at times. I hadn't had issues with this at all before, and it just kind of did. So what I think happened was I dialed back the overclock to stock frequency. I think what was happening was the stock frontside bus of the stock frontside bus of the E8600 is already faster than any stock frontside bus that was available on that when this board was available. Like 1066 was like the top end of it, and 1600 megahertz, which is what I was trying to run. I was trying to run the CPU at 1600 megahertz, which I think is just way too much for this poor board. I think I was pushing the board way too hard. Even though it was stable initially, I think maybe the board just kind of wore itself out. I mean, these caps are, they're not leaking or anything. This is kind of post-capacitor plague. They're still like 18-something-year-old capacitors. Bad solder joints? Yes, that is actually a very good point, because this is during Bumpgate era, when NVIDIA, well, it wasn't specifically NVIDIA's fault. They just kind of came under blame for a lot of it. It's the same thing that caused the Xbox 360 issues and the PS3 issues. These 90 nanometer chipsets. I was trying to make sure that I was keeping the temps down good. I did change the thermal paste, actually. Thermal paste on the north bridge, the south bridge was all new. I did that like I think 2 years ago, so that shouldn't have been an issue. Uh, so I was trying to always make sure that I didn't push this too far with voltage. I wanted to keep it cool, and there is a fan on this. There's like a little 40 mil fan on here. I think it never got above like low 60 degrees ish. Uh, yeah. Now, if I really wanted to, I do actually have another board. I have this exact same board that I found actually with this graphics card. But this board I bought like 5-something years ago. And I just happened to come across the same board in another machine that someone gave me for free. They found it on the side of the road. They're like, here, do you want this thing? I was like, yes, please. I do have another board. I know it works. I could swap it in if I really wanted to. But I really don't want to lose my 4 gigahertz overclock because, man, that's so cool to have a 4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. Now, granted, I could have pushed the Core 2 Duo too far, and that might be an issue. I really don't think I pushed it too far because tons of people have gotten 8600s to 4 gigahertz before, and I barely put any extra voltage into this. Temps were really good. I mean, there's a Hyper 212 Black on it, and yeah, the temps were always fine on the Core 2 Duo. And yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly, you guys might be right on the RAM thing. Whether it be dirty contacts or just these sticks are fine. Because I know MemTest is not a 100% perfect 100% perfect test for determining the issues with RAM. Especially when it comes to like RAM stability. It's usually fine for just checking if all the chips are good, not necessarily for stability testing. But yeah, like I said, this board's always been finicky. Enforce boards are kind of just finicky in general. There's issues again with the SATA thing. I really don't want to pull. I really don't want to push the board too far in terms of overclocking because I think I really was just pushing it too hard with trying to run 1600 megahertz on it. And yeah. Try the second board with all the parts. Yeah, I could do that. I might do that at some point, or I might just put this RAM in a different board just to double check it. I have a nice decent high-end like P35 Intel motherboard that I could try this RAM in just to see. Motherboard capacitors are bulging. All the capacitors look fine on this board. They look fine on my other board too. I don't think it's a capacitor, at least not a bulging issue. They could have dried out inside. That's certainly possible. But yeah. As for power supply, I mean, that certainly could be an issue. That I never ruled it out, but it's an EVGA modern power supply. I do kind of doubt that would be the issue. I guess we'll find out if the new board has issues. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I see many of those Corsair Dominators. I mean, these aren't Dominators. These are... Oh, wait, these are Dominators. Why do I think these were XMS2s? Oh, that's right. Yeah, the model number is XMS2. I think they just... I think they changed the branding so that they were all Dominators at some point. Okay. But yeah, I DDR2 is just kind of iffy sometimes anyways. Put a supplemental fan blowing down on the North Bridge. Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't cool running. I wouldn't say it was cool running. Not like dangerously hot, but yeah, it wasn't great, which is why I was really hesitant about pumping voltage into it. But even though I pumped extra voltage into it, that didn't fix the stability. Really, the only thing that fixed the stability was, or most of the stability was dialing back the overclock just completely. And it seemed a little bit more happy about that. Try 1.55 volts. Probably I did. I know I at least went up to 1.5. Uh, but yeah, I do like these Enforce boards. I don't hate them. Uh, they're fun to tinker with. I have two of the boards, so I certainly could risk pushing one of them like super hard just to see. I kind of don't want to. I'm gonna be honest. This is my main XP machine. I kind of want it to be as stable as possible. So yeah, we're just ditching the Nvidia board. I'm gonna mess around with this probably at some other point just to see what I can get out of it, to see if it really is an issue with the board or if it's an issue with the RAM. This is the only 1066 DDR2 that I have. The only other RAM I have is 800 megahertz or lower, so I kind of hope it's not the RAM, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was. You used a 790 board into 2019. That is impressive. I've heard a lot of negative things about the 700 series chipsets. Granted, I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I never had a bad experience with an Enforce board until this one just started acting up kind of randomly. Hopefully it is just the RAM, but I kind of want to just rule out the Nvidia board in general, just to say that it's out of the way. There's going to be some major changes to the machine. Needless to say, we are sticking with Core 2 Duo. The only things that are going to stay the same in the system are going to be, oh, 780 was bad? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought the 790 was just always out. Oh, they corrected that? Okay. But yeah, we're going to keep the E8600 Core 2 Duo. We're going to keep the power supply unless we have issues with the new system. And then maybe it was power supply the whole time. I'm even really upset if it was power supply. That's really dumb. And I'm be upset if it's an EVGA supply that died on me. We're going to keep hard drive. Actually, I don't know. I'm still debating on the hard drive. I could throw an SSD in here if I really wanted to. I do have like a 480 gig just lying around. But I do kind of like having the actual hard drive. And having a terabyte in your XP machine, I mean, come on, that's just cool. And yeah, the case and only fan. We're going to change fans too. That is the only thing that is going to stay the same. That is it. Literally everything else is going to be changed in the system. But we're going to kind of stay in the same generation. So what happened was I started off early on with the system. You know, I started off with a QX 6700, 8800 GTXs, 680i board. That started off like early 2007, late 2006. And then we did the efficiency upgrade. We went to like, I mean, the GPUs are from 2009, the rebrand. Really, these cards are from, you know, mid 2008. And a CPU from mid 2008. Now we're going to be going even newer, but still Core 2 Duo. And you're gonna see what I got, because I'm pretty excited because I've never messed around with one of these before. So let me get this out of the way. Yeah, 750 gig Seagate. Oh, well, I wouldn't say Seagate was a good thing, but that's just my opinion. Loudest thing in the system, and it's clicking is so loud. I love it. I mean, I do love hard drives. I just wouldn't choose a Seagate. I'm just saying, the most hard drive failures I've ever seen are from Seagates, and I have way more Western Digitals than Seagates. And somehow the Seagates just drop like flies. The Western Digitals, they keep on going. All right. Oh yeah, so what's going to happen today? Okay, I have seen Mac stores fail. That is true. I've seen plenty of Mac stores fail. So I mean that's fair. But what's what's going to happen today is we're going to be just doing the hardware side of the thing today, because I figured it's probably going to be a while. And yeah, I mean, we've already been streaming for 40 minutes. We haven't touched the hardware at all. Jeez. I'm going to do the hardware stream today. I would want to stream tomorrow, but I have a thing tomorrow night. I'm busy. So we're going to do the software side, because I'm going to reinstall XP and everything. Just to, you know, I want a clean slate. I don't want any NVIDIA chipset drivers or anything to screw me up. We're going to do the software stream probably Tuesday night. Tuesday evening, afternoon, probably night. I don't know. I'll see. But yeah, I'm breaking it up into two things, because I don't want to be streaming for like 6 hours. And considering I've already spent like 40 minutes just rambling on camera, we haven't touched the hardware yet. I think this is a good idea. You have a 21-inch Mitsubishi Diamondtron. Dude, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I don't need any more CRTs. Need a Toshiba drive fail. I barely have any Toshiba drives, honestly. Why is it saying encoder overloaded? It said encoder overloaded for like a brief second. Let me check. Oh, I am using 100% CPU. That's not great. Hold on, I'm gonna stop my recording. Let me dial those settings back. Oops. Recording. Let me change that down on the bit rate. Did that affect CPU at all? Nope, that's still 100. Because, okay, so the stream PC right now, I am recording the video at a higher bit rate because I want it to be higher quality than the stream output. You guys are being streamed right now through an R7 370, through the very first gen of AMD VCE, which somehow OBS still supports. I'm shocked that they still support it, but the stream actually somehow works fine. It's just my recording is getting iffy. Let me dial those settings back like a lot then. It was fine when I did the testing, so I don't know why it's complaining now. Knowing Windows, it's probably doing some dumb updates or something in the background. That wouldn't surprise me at all. The recording is using like, OBS is using like 65% CPU usage. Okay, yeah, Task Manager CPU usage is dropping. I think it's probably Windows. I'd rather use Linux, but I can't really, because some of the camera hardware I'm using doesn't have drivers for it. Like my capture card for this camera, I don't think I can get it to work on Linux. We considered a Xeon for the machine. I mean, it'd be fine. Not really what I'm going for. The Quartz Duo is fine. Like that's perfectly fine. I don't need a quad core. Actually, is that 5470? That might be a dual core actually. No, wait, no, that's got to be a quad core. I mean, I don't need a quad core. That was the whole reason why I ditched the Extreme, because I don't need a quad core. No games use more than 2 threads until like 2010 basically. So yeah. All right. Quad core hits 4 gigahertz easily. I mean, so does the E8600. In theory, if you're using a board that actually, you know, works. All right. So this is what we have. This is a Gigabyte GA EP43T-S3L. There's a lot to talk about with this board, and hopefully you guys can see it fine. Yeah, it looks okay on the stream. All right. I don't know why the camera is so like, look, it's not like overblown at all now. When I had the machine up here, my hands were super overblown. Auto exposure moment, I guess. There's a lot to talk about this board. You have an EP45 UD3L. I think I was looking at that board actually for getting for this. But yeah, there's a lot to discuss with this board. The first and most obvious thing you'll probably notice, there's only one by 16 slot. We are losing SLI. Now, that is a little bit sad, to be honest, but I'm going to be honest, I didn't really need the SLI. P43 boards tend to have an FSB well around 417 megahertz. Yeah, that's good. So, you know, I can easily hit 1600 mega transfers. I mean, they flat out advertise it on the board itself, and it's all plastered all over the Gigabyte page for this board. So I think the CPU should have no issues whatsoever. How's it going? It's going good. We're rebuilding the XP machine because NVIDIA. We're just gonna leave it at that. We can blame everything on NVIDIA, and technically, nothing's incorrect. So we are losing SLI. I don't want to lose SLI. This means the only dual GPU system I'm gonna have now is the Windows 7 machine. That's Crossfire. That still is okay, other than the fact that my other GPU has artifacting issues. But otherwise, it works fine. Should go Intel with all Crossfire. I did think about it. I did think about going with a Crossfire board, but I kind of wanted to stick with NVIDIA GPUs just because I didn't want to have two AMD systems that are only like a year-ish apart. You picked up an XP3000 for $6, and it had an FX 5600 in it. Dude, where are you finding these? I haven't found deals that good since like 2018. What would be the best AGP card you could run with a 3000 plus? I mean, whatever's the best one you can afford, honestly. Or whatever the best one power supply-wise you can get. I mean, well, later AGP cards shouldn't be an issue with the 5-volt rail. It's mainly if you're like GeForce 3, GeForce 4 territory that you have to worry about having a extra strong 5-volt rail, especially if you're running an Athlon XP. Really just go with whatever is the most you can afford, because all of them are frankly too expensive, in my opinion. Try to get like a 9800 if you can. That's not dead. It hasn't killed itself. Maybe a GeForce 6600? Maybe? That might not be too expensive. They had a Pentium 3 slot 1 Dell. They sold for you for $6. Dude, get me the hookup. Where's this guy? I want to meet him. I want to buy all his stuff. But yeah, I don't think the SLI is really that necessary, to be honest. Like, even the single GTS 250 is honestly fine. From my experience. Really, Crysis is like the only game I've ever actually played, well, not on this, obviously, on the original configuration, that even like really pushed the system hard enough that I would actually need 2 GPUs for. And it's just Crysis. Like, of course it's Crysis. It was $6, it was really £5, but yeah. I mean, you can just say pounds if you want. I can kind of work out the conversion rate in my head, but I swear, I feel like there's way more deals in like the UK for some reason than America. Granted, I live in the middle of nowhere in the desert, so like that kind of hurts me. So, yeah. Your guys' stuff is just consolidated all in one more area. I live literally in the middle of nowhere. So, I kind of have to take what I can get. The UK is trash for retro? You're telling me that all the YouTubers have been lying to me? You're telling me that there's not all those crazy good deals at like CEX and stuff? Sorry for cracking my knuckles. Same with Australia. Yeah, I could see that being with Australia. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you live like in the middle of Australia, I imagine there's actually nothing. Probably way worse than me. But yeah, do I know Retro Man Cave? Well, I don't know him. I know of the channel. I've seen some of his videos. Since we're in a chatting moment, I just want to point out before I go on too much more with the board, I did get the IO shield with the board, so we don't have to worry about that. They didn't even advertise that it came with the IO shield. I bought this from China, and I messaged the seller. I was like, "Hey, does it come with the IO shield?" And I got some like completely random, like unintelligible answer. I don't think he understood what I meant by when I said IO shield. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna gamble it, and thankfully it did. So that's nice. You just picked up a Quadra 650, and it's matching CRT. Dreading it's the PRAM battery. Well, I don't really know anything about 90s Macs other than that the capacitors are always bad. So, I mean, you might just have to recap it. I mean, Quadra 650, I'm trying to think of when that is. I want to say that's like 94, maybe 95. Yeah, I would still look into capacitors, might be bad on that. You live close to there, so also in the middle of nowhere. Oh, okay. I don't wanna like correct you per se on like where you live. When I say I'm in the middle of nowhere, I mean I literally have to drive 30 minutes to reach the next like city. That's like 30 minutes on a US interstate going like 80 miles an hour. So I'm just saying when I mean middle of nowhere, I do mean middle of nowhere in the desert. Now you say Gigabyte's bad, and I don't disagree. But from this era, Gigabyte is at least a little better. Yeah, see, I told you, I am in the middle of nowhere. It's not like I get in my car and it's like 10 minutes away. I have to put in some serious effort to drive. So it's okay. I love the desert. Yeah, I mean, modern Gigabyte bad. Modern Gigabyte is pretty bad. Yeah, Gigabyte from this era was fine. Gigabyte in like the 2000s was pretty good. In all honesty, I absolutely love their absurd color schemes. This one actually is pretty good. I think I really like the light blue and white color scheme they got going on. Uh, but I love the crazy like green and orange like RAM slots and like let's have like I don't know yellow SATA ports or something crazy like that. All right. Well, we should continue on because it's been like almost an hour. Caps are perfect on your board. You know what? Good for you, man. I will say though, once you once you get used to recapping a board, it's not that bad. Asus boards, yes, the Asus boards also look really good. I love those boards as well. All old motherboards just looked good, frankly. Okay, so no SLI. The other thing you'll notice, well, I already kind of mentioned it. It advertises that it can run 1600 megahertz FSB. I know it's not megahertz, it's mega transfer. I'm going to keep saying megahertz because mega transfer is too hard to say constantly, all the time. Just know that when I say megahertz, I'm probably meaning mega transfer in regard to FSB. But yeah, it can do 1600, which is really good. And oh, in case you guys are doubting it, it's ultra durable. Gigabyte themselves said it, so I mean, therefore it can't be a lie. Uh, oh, and if you're wondering about the CPU, this is just some E7400 I have in here to protect the slot. But the other big thing that you probably already noticed, DDR3 1600 plus. So I have only once ever messed with a DDR3 775 board. It was some Dell Vostro, I think. And it sucked because it was limited to 4 gigs of RAM. Like, what do you mean it's limited to 4 gigs of RAM on DDR3? That's dumb. Like, I was really excited when I saw it. I was like, yo, I can finally have like 8 gigs of RAM in like a dual slot, because there's only 2 slot 775 board. That's really cool. And then I found out, oh, no, you can't, because it just sucks. Actually, it could take 6 gigs of RAM, but like obviously you want to run it in dual channel. So like, yeah, that board was dumb. But this supports 16 gigs of RAM, which is really impressive. We're not putting that much in it. I forgot to bring the RAM out. Ah, dang it. I'm gonna have to go get in and get that. But yeah. As DDR3. But 1600 plus, I just didn't know that any 775 board that supported DDR3 ever went that high with its memory support. I always figured they just kind of topped out at like 1333, but no, apparently this does 1600, which is really, really impressive. I'm excited. We're gonna have RAM running at the same frequency as the front side bus. With that said, you should not have bought a DDR3 board back in the day if you were buying 775, especially not that high of DDR3 in like 2009. That would have been an astronomical waste of money. Like, you would have been so much better off just buying high-end DDR2. Because like this was already being pushed down to Intel's like kind of lower end mainstream platform, and 1156 was like right around the corner too. So my personal opinion, it would have been kind of dumb to invest all this money, I guess, unless you carried your RAM over to a newer system at some point. But like, would you really have done that? I don't think so, but I don't know. I was like 8 years old at the time, so I don't know. I don't think it makes much sense to me. Some went to 1833? I mean, that's insane if that's true. I kind of doubt the usefulness of that though, because kind of the main problem with DDR3 on 775 is that it really just does not take great advantage of it. It's just kind of, it's not that it's like a bad design. 7.7 like the Core 2 quads and duos are not bad designs, but they're just not fast enough to really need DDR3. Like, fast DDR2 is more than good enough for them. So spending all the money on high-end DDR3 just wouldn't make any sense. But we have it, so I mean, we're gonna use it. Might as well. Very expensive overclocking boards. Yeah, probably like X48 boards, I could imagine, maybe went that high. I imagine it was more of like an overclock option. It wasn't like officially supported, but yeah, I could see it hitting there. Some other things. It's got SATA 2. At least that's what it says. We're just gonna trust that it is SATA 2 speeds. I mean, it's like a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's probably not going to use that much of the SATA 2 speed to begin with, but hey, it's got it. And dual BIOS. I don't know if you can see that. Dual BIOS, and there's the 2 BIOS chips. So that's really neat. Hopefully one of these dies. I don't know how you switch to the other BIOS, to be honest. I don't know if it just does it automatically or if there's a switch somewhere. I'm looking for a switch and there's no switch. At least that I can see. So I think it must just do it automatically or something. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty neat. I'm super excited about this board because this is really nice. The only downside is that there's no VRM cooling at all. I'd be a little bit more worried. I'd be a little bit more worried about yeah, the cooling if it was like a Core 2 Quad or an Extreme and I was overclocking it. I think the Core 2 Duo is going to be more than fine, and we don't really need to worry about the cooling. It does it automatically if the main BIOS gets corrupted. That's great. That's nice. Though the backup BIOS is just for saving the old BIOS if main BIOS is screwed up. So is it just like a recovery BIOS? Like you can't actually like boot from it? It's just like, here, flash the main one again. Don't screw it up this time. Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully I never find out. I don't want to find out, but if it happens, it's there, which is really nice. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about the board, really. I did change the thermal paste under, well, the North Bridge. That has new paste on it. The South Bridge never had paste. These rarely have paste, but I did add some just to help, because why not? It's not going to hurt it if I add it. So yeah, I squirted a little bit of paste under there, so that should help it out. And yeah, that's a pretty good board. There is going to be something cooling this, kind of, because I know these can get pretty hot when overclocking them, because after all, the memory controller is in the North Bridge, so we're not just running it with no fan. There is going to be a fan blowing towards it. Is it Rev 1.1? No, it's 1.3. Use AM3. Yeah, AM3 is great. AM3 is generally pretty cheap unless you're buying like FX stuff. If it's yeah, I mean FX stuff, it's a little pricier than it probably should be. The Phenom stuff is pretty cheap though. I mean, at least FX is too expensive on eBay in my opinion. If you find FX locally, I'm sure it's like worthless to most people. Cooler, I guess, because I gotta go grab the other two things. I have the GPU, but it's on the other side of the garage, and I forgot to bring out the RAM. So cooler we're gonna be using. There's a Hyper 212 Black on the board now. That works fine, but I have this spare Hyper 212 Evo now, so I figured I'm just gonna put that on there since it'll look a little bit more period correct than the black. The black looks cool, but I think this will look good with the blue board and whatnot. Also, the mounting system is just, I think it's a little easier on the black, so that would be more useful for taking on and off frequently for testing. Where this, the mounting is pretty annoying. I mean, like look at this bracket. Look at this absolute monstrosity of a bracket. There's like 3 different things you have to screw together. Or at least, well, there's 2 different things. You have to screw these together, and then you got to screw the bracket on. You got to make sure the bracket's in the right position. These are in the right position. It's annoying. Where the black, I think, was a little simpler. That'll be easier to take on and off for testing. So this will be good. What late XP games have you found that don't play well on a modern system? I haven't found any, and I don't care because I just want to mess with the old hardware. I just think it's fun. Like, yeah, an XP machine isn't that useful. I have a Windows 7 machine. I built a Windows 7 machine for crying out loud. Like, I just want to build computers. I'm really particular. I just want, like, a billion systems. And then I never play games on them because I'm just building them all the time. This is how it goes. You guys think I actually play games on my systems? No, I just build them, and then I build the next one, and I never get around to playing the games on it. With that said, I mean, it's not true. I have played some games. Like, I played through COD 2, like I said, on that machine, and Deus Ex. I did play Deus Ex at the end of last year. Fantastic game. I will talk more about Deus Ex at some point, but it's an amazing game. You're currently testing a X6 1075 to OC at 3.8. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna go grab. Yeah, interacting with old hardware is just it's more. Yeah, it's more rewarding in my opinion. Yeah, you got it right. But I mean, the games are great too. I do want to have an actual stable system to play games at some point on. Uh, so I am going to go grab the RAM and the GPU. There's a way for YouTube to run. Oh, we got 19 viewers. That's a little better than I thought. I thought we were maybe at like 10. I'm gonna have YouTube run an ad, and I'll be back in like a minute or something. I'm back. Did you guys enjoy your ad? Did YouTube try to promote any scams to you? Not a GTX 280. All right, I guess we'll jump right into the GPU since you guys can see it. There's a reason I just made a video about it. You didn't see any ads. Well, you know what? That's because you're using ad blocker, which is good. That's good. Use the ad blocker. Even though I need money, keep using the ad blockers. We gotta fight back. Yeah, there's a reason I made a video about this because I planned on using it. I bought this for like, I think, not much. I think like 20 bucks, maybe. It's a fine enough card. It'll still be, Firefox and uBlock is still strong. Brave is okay. It started like freaking out a little bit recently. It started getting the pop-ups again about, ooh, no more ad blocker. They kind of disappeared though in the recent days. I think Brave updated. So we're good. But yeah, this card was bought mainly for this, but when I kind of found out about the Core 216, I was like, that is so dumb and absurd. I need to make a video about me basically ranting about it. But yeah, I'm not going to go too in depth on the whole naming thing of this card. You can just go watch the video if you want. But yeah, I didn't pay that much for it. I have cleaned it, repasted it already. You can see the absolute carnage that I had to do to get one of these screws out. If the light work. Wow, I hate the C920. It's like it's a webcam or something. You can, okay, no, you can't see better on that. But yeah, there's one of these screws was like completely stripped out, or it wasn't stripped out. I tried to take it out. No matter the bit size, it just stripped right out. It was like seized in there solid. And I had to like cut it off and get the screw out. It was really annoying. This will be significantly faster than the GTS 250. It's also going to be quieter because it has an actual cooler on it. Is that a plastic backplate? No, it's not. You would think it would be because they have a sticker on it, but that is actually metal. It feels like plastic, but it is metal. It does have, yeah, it has thermal pads on the back, I think, because I'm pretty sure there's RAM on the back of this card. Yeah, this card was nasty when I got it. It was horrible. It was completely clogged up. Let me just sit down for a second. Yeah, this thing was completely clogged up. Like, I'm shocked that it was running at like mid 80 degrees, because I don't even know how it managed that. No idea. Flip that around. There you go. I have no idea how it managed to run that cool when literally there was a wall of just like fur basically in the way of it. Also, you could definitely tell that it was someone's like vape smoke as well. Not like cigarette smoke, but vapor does still make dust sticky, but it smells really sweet, unlike the sickly kind of cigarette tar dust. Yeah, if you think it's fine to vape in the house and your stuff isn't gonna be affected, no. You shouldn't be vaping, at least near your computers and stuff. You probably shouldn't vape in general, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, this thing was nasty. Now, I kind of had a bit of an obsession when I got this card. I was in the process of delitting all of my NVIDIA cards. I had a pretty good track record. I delitted both of my 8800s just fine. I decided to delid this, and I'm pretty sure that the temperature difference that I got out of delitting it, and when I say delitting it, the heat spreader is still on here. I just, took the heat spreader off, redid the TIM between the die and the heat spreader. And then, of course, the heat's in between the heatsink and the heat spreader, that paste as well. But yeah, I redid that. I'm pretty sure the temperature difference didn't come from the delid. Probably came from the fact that, it has airflow now. But I did it anyways. It's just nice to do. Honestly, I got kind of addicted to the delitting. It's like gambling almost. It might be a bad sign. I probably should never try gambling, but like it's a gamble because like, oh, am I gonna break it? Am I gonna push the razor blade in too far? Ooh, I don't know. But yeah, that was fun. So I marked on it when I delitted it. I was back in March. So yeah. Oh yeah, it was like the SLI connectors were also like weirdly like gross and like almost corroded looking. But yeah. But I got it all cleaned up, and I really like the way this card looks. I mentioned that in the video. I think the GTX 200 series reference coolers are really nice looking. Or a cursed design. You say that. They're not as loud as you think. At least not these cards. Maybe on the 280 with the extra heat and whatnot, maybe it's a little louder. It's fine. It's not like a Fermi card or really any newer NVIDIA card. This is when the blower coolers were still like fairly competent at getting rid of the heat, because these aren't like that high of TDP. I mean, it's a dual 6-pin card. It's not that big. And there's a pretty good, gosh, is it vapor chamber? I don't remember if this is a vapor chamber or not. I don't think so. Either way, it's still, it's fine. It's really not that loud. I've ran this thing maxed out in heaven for like an hour, and it was perfectly fine. It's going to be quieter than the XFX 250s. I can tell you that. It is heat pipes. That's what I thought. Well, okay, it's not that people wanted their PCs to be loud. It's that nobody made good fan designs yet, and nobody made good cases yet with good airflow. We're actually kind of lucky that I have an Antec 900. That's probably like one of the best airflow cases from the 2000s. You were just kind of screwed on a lot of cases. Otherwise, you got like one intake and one exhaust, maybe a fan on the side panel, and that was it. They were just like, you're good. Like, what do you mean I'm good? I'm trying to run SLI and stuff. But yeah, here's the RAM. This is two 2GB sticks of Kingston HyperX Blue DDR3. The shade of blue is not showing up well on the camera at all. Okay, there you go. You can see it in the light. Isn't that the coolest DDR3 you've ever seen? That's so beautiful. I forgot I had this RAM. Okay, I don't know if you heard that. My pipes have activated because I'm in the garage and I'm like right next to the water softener. So sorry if you can hear the water hissing. I forgot I had this RAM, and I was thinking like, oh, a DDR3 board, that'd be kind of neat. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I have this RAM. That's gonna look so good in it. So yeah, this is 1600 megahertz CL9. 4 gigs is gonna be fine because we're using 32-bit XP. But yeah, I think this is gonna look excellent. Like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's just right. We're getting all the shades of blue today. But yeah, it is CL9, 1600 megahertz. Pretty good. I was gonna use this in the Windows 7 machine initially, and then I found those red G-Skill Ripjaws. Do I have Ripjaws in there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have Ripjaws in there. And yeah, those match that board a lot better. And then these, whew, almost dropped it on the board. That would have been bad. But yeah, these match this board, I think, really well. Let me put that there. Did the chat freeze, or is nobody just chatted recently? Oh, we're up to 21 viewers. That's very impressive. Okay, no, it is not frozen. Good. Motherboard is that? It's a Gigabyte GA EP43T-S3L. Rolls right off the tongue. I did add this board to the retro web. It wasn't up there before, and it got added I think last week. So yeah. Now we need a metallic blue GPU and case. The GPU might be a little tricky. I guess I could get like an HIS Ice Q cooler or something like that. Case, I did used to have a Cooler Master Centurion that was blue. Their definition of blue is really more of a purple. That's what the XP machine originally was in, but I wasn't happy with the airflow. And I also don't have that case anymore. I'm not switching CPUs. I'm staying with the E8600. This is a 7400 in here, but I'm going to pull the E8600 out of the old board. That was the whole thing, is I want to keep the 4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo overclock. And then for fans, I I wanted blue LED fans. Right now the system has white LED fans, but I wanted some better quality ones. Those are some like those are like the cheapest possible Corsair, like 3-pin white LED fans from like I don't know how many years ago. They're not great sounding. I should get the EP45. That would be great. But I found the EP43 for a decent price. And honestly, the only difference I think with between P43 and P45 is the P45 I think has some like different like virtualization features, which yeah. Your VRM's overheated on that board. That's only mildly concerning, but we shouldn't need to pump a ton of voltage into the CPU to begin with. Like, it's going to be using less voltage than Core 2 Quad still, so I don't think... Less voltage, in theory, and less wattage, so I don't think that's a huge issue. Some P45s have crossfire. Yeah, but I didn't feel like crossfire. Yeah, I wanted blue LED fans. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. If you try to find single color LED fans nowadays, it's not easy. There's really not that many out there left. Most of them are kind of no-name, just brands from China that are out there, and like who knows the quality of them. And I wanted some actual like PWM fans and whatnot. And I have a Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120. Oops. The fans on it are pretty good. Thermalright actually does make some pretty good fans. And I got this 3-pack of ARGB fans, I think for like $12 or something. And I think it'll be just fine. From what I heard, these aren't like a ton of airflow. Yeah, these are only 1550 RPM. That's not great, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, Thermalright is great for the price. Like a Peerless Assassin, I think was like 30, $35 or something. It works perfectly fine. So these are ARGB, which sucks. I don't like ARGB, especially not in a retro system. Oh yeah, these have like rubber dampeners built into the frames too. So that's really nice. So I bought also from Thermalright. This is a little just ARGB controller. I think you can pick between like 12 different colors or something on this. It just plugs in through SATA, and then you can plug your fans into this. I think you can choose brightness, the color, and I think the animation as well. So it's just I'm just gonna set them blue, just solid, because that's the vibe I was going for. And those, we're just gonna put 2 of them in the front. I could add a fan to the back of the case. I don't think that would really help that much because there's a giant 200mm fan right above it. I mean, it might help slightly for cooling the VRMs, but yeah. I don't know. We are going to put a fan on the side panel. Let me get this out of the way. So the side panel, this is going to line up basically to blow directly onto the chipset, and hopefully it'll help blow some extra airflow over the the VRMs. Would be nice if they had cooling, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Now the fan I'm going to use for that, where did I put that? Where did I put that fan? Oh, there it is. This is a Antec fan. This is one of the fans that came with the Antec 900 originally. It is just Molex powered, but it does have a speed control. And so we're gonna stick this on the side panel, and this fan isn't too bad. It's not terribly loud. Works fine. And it has stealth blue LEDs. You'd think, oh, this is just a pure black fan. How is there LEDs? Well, there's some like LEDs like hidden in the frame, which you can't really see very well. Maybe you can. But yeah, there's some blue LEDs hidden into the frame, and so they kind of shine, and when it's spinning, it kind of makes like a subtle like spiral effect, kind of like the older Cooler Master sickle flows. Yeah, they kind of looks like that, but like a more subtle blue. So I think that's gonna look pretty good. And yeah, that should be good for at least cooling the chipset, because it's gonna blow like right onto it. Especially if I set it to like high, which I don't think is terribly loud. That should blow right on it, and that should be pretty good. Hopefully that helps keep the VRMs halfway cool as well, because that's gonna sit way above it, and that's not gonna really do anything. Yeah, that's all the stuff to discuss, really. I think we should start tearing the system down. We've been streaming for an hour and a half, and I have not taken anything out of the case yet. I'm very glad I'm doing the software on a different day. Plus, I can do the software from inside my house, where it'll be a little bit more comfortable. Be helpful if I took stuff off of the table. But you know what? We're gonna not do that, because I'm lazy. All right. Get our screwdriver going. All right. So got SLI. You know the funny thing about this SLI bridge is, I got this in my MSI 970 board. That board does not support SLI. It only supports Crossfire. And yet they gave me an SLI bridge with it. I just think that's funny. Like, why did you include that? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Now, I gotta be a little careful with the screws. I know some of the screw holes on this case are a little stripped out. Unfortunately, I should probably re-tap some of these screw holes at some point. But I would also need to get larger thread screws. That's right, I always forget that this case has front panel audio because I never use it. All right, yeah, here's the Dell X-Fi. This is supposed to go in like an Alienware or something. I should probably dust this off. There we go. Yeah. I think this requires special Dell drivers, but I think the Daniel K like Sound Blaster drivers also works for this. And it is PCI. Most of the X-Fis are PCIe by 1, which is fine, but we got PCI. That's really not an issue. Where should I put this? I'll put it there. Still got to take these screws out. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you said, there are other PCI X5s, but they are low profile. I think you're right. The Dell one is also like way cheaper than a regular X5. I think even back then, like 4 years ago when I bought that card, I think that was only like maybe 15 bucks or something, where the actual X5s are like 40 or something like that. They're probably worse now. I don't know. I'm gonna put the 250s at. Let me put them, I guess, here. Gotta move a bunch of stuff around. I'm sure these GPUs will be fine on top of the giant tank that has salt water in it. I'm sure that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to leave them there. Salt water is good for all electronics. Yes, it's also good for your car. You should drive it in the. You should drive it on the beach. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that all the front panel connectors are like up here by the RAM for some reason on this board. Like, do you guys not have anywhere else to put them? I don't really need to take the RAM out. Well, I guess I might as well. It'll be easier. This RAM is super tall anyways. Oh, that's right. This board actually uses an 8-pin. It was a very concerning, like, almost crack I heard. I really hope that wasn't something bad. I was barely even pulling on it. Why did it sound like that? That was horrifying sounding. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That board uses an 8-pin. The new board is only a 4-pin. So, I mean, the VRM is definitely not as good, but we're not going with a quad core, so we should be okay. All right, that's all the power out of the way. Where am I going to put all this? Let me just grab these and... Oh, those are kind of stuck. I just want them to not be tangled in the way. Probably take the heatsink off now. It'll be easier to do in the case, I think. Didn't get too dusty. A little bit of dust, but not too bad. And if you guys couldn't see it, there's a 120, not 120, a 200 mil Noctua in the top, graciously given to me by Goo. Actually, no, I don't think he gave it to me. I think we traded for it. That's like a $30 fan. There's really no reason for me to have that nice of a fan in this machine. It was the only 200 mil fan I had, and the one that was in the case was like destroyed. Like literally, like the entire hub of the fan had like been ripped out of it. Okay, it didn't hit anything. I always like to untension or retension heat sinks a little by little in a cross pattern just to help reduce the stress on the board and socket. So one of the USBs was broke. You're correct. How do you remember that? I didn't think I had any actual like fans that would remember useless knowledge about my computers. Let's trade for the GPU you killed. What GPU did you kill? What GPU did I trade you that you killed? I don't remember. Oh wow, the paste is actually still kind of soft in here. Well, I guess that makes sense. It was only like a year ago that I did this. There we go. A little excessive on the paste. Not a terrible paste application. The 7870. The 7870 was already dead. Remember? I gave that to you because it was broken. I should have grabbed tissues. I guess we'll just use this convenient rag I have here. I'm sure that won't stain the rag permanently. I also forgot to grab thermal paste, so I will have to go back in and grab that. Or did I leave that out here? There was something I repasted the board recently. Did I leave that out here? Thought I did. All right. That's good. Yep, she looks good. No chance you can read that, but yep, E8600. That's true. Thermal paste never stains your fingers either. Just like grease. Grease totally doesn't stain your hands for like 3 days afterwards. Now you guys can't see that probably very well, but my thumb is still like black because I made the horrible decision to change my alternator with no gloves on. Unplug the 200 mil. Yeah, I should protect the pins. Hold on. Here, we'll do the CPU swap now. All right, we'll put the 7400 in this. That's right. We fixed the Honda. Or well, I fixed the issue with it supposedly having rod knock, which was actually just the harmonic balancer going bad and being loose. But no, I was having an issue with my cylinder position sensor getting whacked out. And apparently that was the alternator that caused it. Totally didn't buy a new distributor because of that. And then we had the fun adventure of oh yeah. Oh, I completely forgot. Technically not my first stream. I did one like a year ago. The whole thing was on handy cams, but we do have a 1986 RCA VHS camcorder for face cam. I forgot to mention this. I forgot about this. I'm gonna be careful. Whoever had this board before me already did the socket mod for 771 chips. They grinded out the out the thing. So personally, I wouldn't touch the socket. I would rather touch the like $10 Xeon and just carve grooves into that. But you know, whoever in China had this before me, but they thought that was the right way to go. So now I have to line up the notches where there are no longer notches. That should be the right way. Because this is dangerous too, because you just put the CPU in the wrong way as well. But yeah, that's where the notches should be. Because there's not really a triangle on the board. Or, well, I think there's a triangle here. But you can't really see it. Let me just, I'm gonna triple check that. I need to get up close to make sure I am putting that in the right way. Okay, yeah, that is most certainly the way to go. All right. That tripped me up so much. No, I got this from eBay. I know that tripped me up so much when I first got the board and I was testing it out. I was trying to like figure out like why is this not feeling like it's notching in any way? And I kept looking for it, and then eventually I shined a light in there. I was like, oh yeah, somebody grinded that. Somebody grinded out the notches. So whoever had this was running a Xeon in here, I guess. Because like the board wasn't advertised that it was pre-modded. So I don't know if all of them were modded like that, or if just that one happened to be modded for some reason. Let me get the old heatsink out of the way, just to make more room. No, I definitely didn't get the wrong board. That is what they advertised. They advertised the board that I got. They just didn't mention in the listing that it had been modded. I mean, not that the mod is bad. They did it correctly. They didn't, like, mess up any of the pins, thankfully. But, no, somebody just grinded out the plastic. Which, I mean, that would be really convenient if I was gonna do a Xeon. For a second, that one felt almost for a second like I was pulling the standoff out. This motherboard used like all the screws. Alright, this is going to be tight to get out with all these cables. There we go. This is a really nice quality board. I definitely am going to mess with this more just to see what the issue actually is. Hopefully maybe it was just the RAM or something weird, that I was just pushing it too hard or something like that. It even has power and reset buttons on it. I completely forgot about that. It has a post readout. Dude, this board is already better than like every other modern motherboard. This board's way bigger too than the new one. So we need to put the. Let me take this down because I got to put the Hyper 212 bracket on the new board. I'm guessing you didn't see the early part of the stream. There was some pretty bad stability issues going on with the old board. Probably because I was overclocking it too hard, but even dialing back the overclock, there was still some weirdness. And I've committed to the new board and the DDR3 lifestyle, so that's what we're going with. These Hyper 212 brackets are so annoying to deal with. Also, did you guys know that the original Hyper 212 came out in like 2007? I mean, I knew the Hyper 212 was old. I didn't know it was that old. I thought it was like a 2010 product or something. Maybe that's just when the Evo came out. But yeah, the Hyper 212 been around for a long time. Do they even still sell it? I feel like they gotta still sell it, right? Yeah, no more SLI. I didn't mention it, but finding a SLI certified motherboard that's Intel from this time period is really difficult, because NVIDIA was obviously still in the chipset market, but I think they kind of realized that they were losing the chipset battle. So they started licensing out SLI to other boards, to other board makers. But you had to, one, pay the license to NVIDIA, and that was like that forever afterwards with SLI. But the other requirement was they actually had like an actual NVIDIA chip that you had to put on your motherboard to get it to work. I don't know if that was a technical limitation or if that was purely an NVIDIA being NVIDIA moment thing, but yeah. Yeah, some ROGs have SLI. Yeah, like some of the X48 boards and stuff have SLI support and whatnot, but they're very expensive. I'm not paying that much for. I'm not gonna pay like $100 for a XP motherboard. Just screw on, dude. Stop trying to cross thread. These are so fiddly. I know these come with a tool. I could go grab mine. It's like basically just a hex adapter. Makes it easier to screw on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, the older way of doing SLI was there was an actual like Terminator jumper thing on the motherboard. I have an Enforce 4 board for socket 939 that's like that. Uh, yeah, that was actually one of the reasons how Intel got around paying the SLI fee to Nvidia for the Skull Trail boards was they had like PCI Express like switcher chips or something like that on the Skull Trail board because they needed it for the four-way SLI support or something. Or wait, no, it wasn't four-way SLI, but they just wanted to have 4x16 slots on their board. And they got around the licensing because according to the NVIDIA driver, it recognized it as an NVIDIA chipset, even though it wasn't. And so it would allow you to enable SLI. It was really funny. You don't have to do these super tight. You can just kind of do these like finger tight. Enforce 4 with the Q6700. I guess I never realized that there were Enforce 4 boards for LGA 775, but I guess that doesn't totally seem unreasonable. Would have been pretty late for an Enforce 4 board, though. Alright, that should be tight enough. Yeah, you don't have to go super tight with those. Just finger tight is fine. All right. I forgot to grab thermal paste, so I need to go do that. So I guess I'll run another ad. It has been like a while since I ran the last one. All right, I'll be right back. I am back. Hopefully the ad is over. I don't know how long the ad breaks actually are for when you tell YouTube to do it for a stream. Today is the last day to export chat data from Skype. If I still knew what the login to my Skype account was, I would, I guess, do that. I have no idea what would even be on there, honestly. But rip Skype. You know, it's actually impressive how long Microsoft has kept Skype around. It's also not impressive in a good way that Teams is still somehow worse than Skype. All right. Oh no, I'm gonna get yelled at. Oh no, I'm gonna get yelled at because of my thermal paste application. That was actually a bit much, but it's fine. So we want this to face up because that's where the main exhaust fan is, the 200 mil. So we want this to face up. And how's the bracket going to go on here? That should be good. All of these are set to the inmost position. Yeah, as long as it doesn't cause problems later. I mean, there wasn't enough on there to like reach its way into the socket or anything like that. So Philly. Why, Cooler Master? Why? Yeah, yeah. These Hyper 212s are terrible, dude. Get in.
It's like slightly misaligned too. That's the weird thing. I like this works on 775, but it's super annoying. Like I double checked it, and this does mount to 775 just fine. There we go. Like trying to get it to not cross thread was really annoying. Like the screws also take forever to screw in as well. There's like so many threads on them. I think that's on there pretty snug. Yep, that should be good. Yes, there's a 200 mil exhaust fan on the top of the case because it's an Antec 900. That's why I have the cooler blowing up. I had the cooler blowing up on the old board as well. Where's the CPU fan connector on that side? Okay. Yep. The other nice thing is that this board has two PWM fan headers, which is, I mean, not a lot, but compared to a lot of other boards at the time, that's nice. A lot of them only had like one for the CPU, and then the rest were just 3-pin. Try to tuck this cable up here. I guess I could get a zip tie for the fan cable, but it'll be hidden by the RAM. I don't think that's gonna be not gonna be the worst option, I guess. You know what? I think I have zip ties in the garage. Let me go grab one. I got a zip tie. Just gonna bundle this up here, wrap it around like that, and I think it'll be pretty good. That does look cleaner. Not that you can really see it, but you can kind of see it. That that'll look good. Now we need to put our RAM in. I'm pretty sure this was still back in the day when they recommended putting the RAM in the slots closer to the CPU rather than away. It is hitting the fan a little bit, but now that it's past it, it's fine. Yep. All right. Yeah, because on the board it is listed, or no, it's not. I could look it up, but I'm fairly certain that, they advise you to put it in slots 1 and 3, not 2 and 4. There we go. Oh yeah. I mean, that would look awesome if I had 4 sticks of RAM, but that still looks pretty good. Like, oh yeah. That's some beautiful DDR3. Who is texting me? Sorry guys, I gotta just respond to this text really quick. All right. So the slots closer to the CPU are the main channels? I believe so. That was generally how it is for older boards. I don't think it was until like, I want to say almost until like AM4 that they started actually advising you to put them start away from the CPU. I can look it up. Let me just look up the manual online. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually say this. This board came out in 2009. The latest BIOS for it is from July of 2010. Yeah, this is a really, really late 775 motherboard. All right, let me see here. Installing memory. Yeah, channel 0 is... Wait, what? That can't be right. Huh? Okay, all right. The way that they say channels was really confusing because it was making me think that like these two here are a single channel, which is kind of how it is on AMD, but looking at the actual grid that they show, yeah, for only having 2 sticks, or well, actually they say that you can put them in either. Actually, they don't really say that one's the right way to do it or not. So yeah, I don't think it matters. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I was right. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but yeah. I mean, the wording in the manual was kind of confusing because it was making me think that because it was saying like DDR1 and DDR2 should be next to each other in a single channel, which didn't make any sense to me. But actually looking at the grid, it is the proper way. You're using XP to record lossless audio. That's pretty cool. All right. Oh yeah, we gotta add a CMOS battery. Yeah, they changed how how you're supposed to put the RAM in order for some reason. I think just because of Ryzen. We are going to be using the last Energizer, CR2032. I did think about using one of my AC Delco batteries, which I still think is really funny that those exist. There we go. All right. You're not going to get any flack from me. I love the stock AMD mounting system. It is by far way better than Intel's stock mounting system. Like, sure, technically, in terms of even pressure, I don't think it's as good. But it's so convenient. Literally, you can swap heat sinks in like 5 seconds. And the backwards compatibility, too. I mean, from like, at least from 939 up until modern day, all the coolers are basically the same. And you can even use a lot of modern coolers on 754 boards as well. Just they kind of changed how the shape of the bracket is, so it is a little bit more. It is a little bit more tricky to get them to fit all the time. But yeah, I've put like an AM3 cooler on a 754 board before, and it fits just fine. Get out of here. Compare IO shield quality. The new one is definitely not as thick. Not that it matters, but I just figured I would point it out. All right. Yeah, you can put a Wraith Prism on 939. In fact, I plan to do that at some point with my cooler. This will be a lot easier to get in because this board's a lot narrower. Oh, hold on. We gotta... I am going to have to pull a... I am going to have to pull a standoff out. This standoff is not used on the new board. But it is used here. Crank that down there. Wait. How did the zip tie thing get in the case? What? Well, it's on the floor now. All right, let me double check the screw placement. I think we're good. I think we're good now. I think that was the only one that was different. So there are 3 standoffs that are unused now. They're all on this side because the board's not as wide. So as long as we have 3 screws left over, we should be good. Is this taller? No. For a second, I thought the Evo was taller than the Black for a second, but no, that's the same, about the same height. Does anybody know what the ERP ready on the board actually means? I've never actually looked into that. I don't know if you can see it. But it says like ERP ready. And I feel like I've seen that on other boards as well. What even is that? I've never bothered to look it up. It's probably something really dumb that doesn't matter. You know, I just realized I probably should have plugged in the CPU power first. That might have been slightly helpful. But I think there is more room up there for my hand to fit in than the other board. Okay, so we have 3 screws left over. That's good. European Union energy-related products requirement. Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, this is probably some EU thing, isn't it? Just like the whole, like, oh, we got to get rid of the lead solder. Yeah, let me get CPU power. Oh yeah, plenty of room for my hand up here. Nowhere near as bad as the other board. There we go. Yeah. And unfortunately, the cable management's just not going to look great. Because there really is no options for cable management in this case. I mean, there's technically room in the back of the side panel, but I would have to like I'd have to cut out openings to like run from the power supply and whatnot. There's really not enough room for these big power supply cables. I think that's more if you wanted to run like SATA a little bit more cleanly, since you can fit like 9 SATA drives in here if you really wanted to. Oh yeah, this motherboard also has a floppy header, which is pretty nice. I think the old one had one too. Yeah, it did. Why is that not clicking down? The 24 pin is not clicking down. Well, it's certainly in there, so I don't think that's a huge issue. No, I guess it is kind of clicked on there. It just didn't make it click. Same. I would love a new retro case. I mean, there is that Silverstone one that looks like that's a flat desktop style. I do think that's interesting. I wish they kind of didn't do the whole like fake floppy drive thing though. I think that's a little cheesy, but I could live with it, I guess. I think they are releasing that in the US as well, but it's probably going to be expensive. I guess we can do the fans now. Or well, let me get the front panel out of the way. Okay, let's see. Power switch goes there. Reset switch is there. And HDD LED. I have a different one for my hot swap sled, so I'm going to put that one on there. I guess I could hook up the hard drive LED for the case, or to the power LED, I guess, because the case doesn't actually have a true power LED. Well, you know what, I'll just leave it disconnected. This thing's got enough lights on it to begin with, so that's really not necessary. I will say I do like how clearly labeled the connectors are on this board. Super easy to work with. Like, I didn't even need to bust out a flashlight for that. SATA. Yeah, we can do SATA now. I don't know if all of these are SATA 2. They are all SATA 2, at least according to the markings on the board, so that's nice. Where's the optical drive? There it is. Or is that the hard drive? No, that's the optical drive. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to put hard drive on SATA 0. All right, that's all that. Let's get the front panel off here so we can swap our fans. The actual build of this is going faster than I thought. The first like hour and a half was like me just talking. Does this have screws? No. It's just clipped on. There we go. Yeah, that is a solid front bezel. Like, look at how thick that plastic is. It's like double layered. This thing's solid. You're not breaking this. Oh yeah, because the card is also EVGA, the graphics card, I don't have to change any of these stickers on top, which is really nice. Oh yeah, here's the hard drive. In case anyone wanted to see it. This is a Dell drive, but this is actually made by WD. This is basically a WD Black, but just made for Dell for some reason. I assume this was provided with like servers and whatnot. But it works pretty well. It's pretty fast. It's nice and clicky, nice and loud. 7,200 RPM. All right, now I guess I didn't have to take that off actually. Now that I remember, I remember now. I didn't need to take that off because the fans actually mount in these front bay modules on this case. And I bet there's a screw on the back side, isn't there? Yep, there is. I gotta take off the other panel. Fun. Yeah, I got that drive in a 2009 Mac Pro, I think. For some reason, it was in there. I think it was in a Mac Pro, because I don't remember where else I would have gotten it out of. So nice of them to make a CPU tray cutout and then make it so that it's not tall enough for you to get a full, I guess to get a full back plate in there. I mean, I guess you could kind of slide it up. You could kind of slide it up under there, but still, it's really annoying. You have a Mac Edition graphics card in your XP machine. Yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of the Mac cards are just cheaper for some reason, which is really counterintuitive to how you would think it would be, but they just are for some reason a lot of times. I think because there's just no market for them yet. All right, that's the first one out. Oh yeah, this case is like left outside as well for a long time, so there's some patina on there, just a little bit of surface rust. Also, this bottom faceplate is like super nasty looking. I should probably repaint that at some point, but you can't see it on the camera, so therefore it doesn't exist. Yeah, the old like AGP Apple cards don't work in PCs usually, but the PCI Express ones usually do. I think because they're all EFI, they all have EFI BIOSes and whatnot on them, so you don't really need to worry about that. Why are the screw? Do I really have to take off the whole front things just to get to the screws? I do, don't I? Wait, did I double-sided tape these in? Wait, did I? I did. Oh, great. Well, that's great. Now I have to go get new double-sided tape for these. Why? I guess there's no screw holes for these. I know you're supposed to be able to mount fans to these though. How do you do that from the factory? Am I just missing like a piece? Maybe I'm missing a piece or something. Because this case didn't have any fans mounted in it when I got it. That might be why I had to do this. I also did this like 4 years ago, so I don't really remember. I use this really cheap double-sided sticky foam tape. It's not like the good 3M stuff. I've just had it like forever, and I want to get rid of it. And I still have it. That's how long I've had it. I used it 4 years ago, and we're going to be using it today. Well, that one came off easily. Yeah, I don't see any other way to mount that. I don't even know how it would have connected on. Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense to me, but oh well. Yeah, we're just gonna have to foam tape that again. Why is this stuck? All right. Hold on, let me see. Do I even need tape? Does it just like hold it in place? No, that's definitely gonna rattle. Yeah, I think the tape's gonna be a good idea. Oh, my bit. These are the fans I was talking about. They're not the greatest. They're pretty cheap. You try to speed control these at all because they're just 3-pin. They get pretty whiny sounding. That's why I want to swap them out. Plus, I want the blue since the motherboard is blue, the RAM is blue. We should have blue fans. Oh wow, the tape on this one's strong. Oh, there we go. I haven't really input myself on the Power Mac G5 GPU conversation that's going on in chat, but I don't think a 9600 GT would work. I don't think that would work. I'm pretty sure you can only go up to 7 series with NVIDIA. Well, because I think even on PCI Express, I don't think there's any BIOSes for cards that new, but maybe there is. Yeah, quad socket, dual core Xeons that are netburst based would be certainly pretty wild. I need to go get my tape, double-sided tape then, so I'll be right back. I guess I can run another ad. So this is the tape we're using. I'm pretty sure I got this at like Dollar Tree. Yeah, like Dollar Tree, like probably like 7 or 8 years ago. It is ancient tape, but somehow it still works. So don't knock the dollar store stuff sometimes. Okay, so undo the fan connector. I think I can leave the RGB connector like this. But I do need to pull the fan connector out a little bit. And this is the nice thing as well. I can daisy chain the fans together, both on ARGB and on the 4-pin fan. Since the board only has one other PWM connector, I can daisy chain the fans together, which is super nice. So I need to put tape on that in that corner. The one thing about this sticky tape is getting the other side peeled off is really annoying. I'm going for 2.5 hours. It's pretty sure that's longer than I did the Dell stream for. So that's we're hitting new records here. My voice is only slightly shot. Okay. All right. There's one in. It's the annoying part. It like half peels the paper off, and then it doesn't peel like the actual full protective layer off. I think that'll be good. There we go. All right. That's good. One fan down. You know, you're talking. I just looked at chat. Someone's talking about a 3770. That's the CPU you guys are being, well, half streamed through right now. The R7 370 is doing the stream encoding, but my 3770 is recording the video, so I can edit this down into a video. This was like the only system I had that was like halfway fast that I didn't need for something else. Yeah, I mean, it's doing a good enough job. We haven't dropped any frames really. That's caught. There we go. Second fan down. I feel like the fans took the longest. Why is this not going together? There we go. Oop. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, no, the 3770 is great. It sucks that your cat did that. Lined up. I think that's about lined up. Oh, probably should have put the rusty one at the bottom so it's less noticeable. There we go. Why are no holes lining up on that? Did I clip the thing upside down? No, that says up. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I clipped this on the wrong way. So the 5 1/4 inch fan adapters, they're not really adapters. That's just how the case is designed. That's just how Antec decided they wanted to build this case. I guess they figured, well, if you don't want airflow and you want like 9 optical drives for some reason, then well, we'll offer that to you. Yeah, they're not really adapters. Like the front blanking plates mount to them as well. So it's not really an optional thing unless you load out your unless you load out the case with that many like drives in the front. Yeah, that looks pretty. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I need to daisy chain the fans together. Stuff the cables up in there. Now I need the ARGB cables. I hate how delicate these ARGB connectors are. Like, I get that they're like cheap and whatnot, but you guys really couldn't have designed a better connector than three tiny pins that just stick out into nowhere.
It's a good thing the window only goes to like here, so you don't see this giant mess. I'm sure you could just 3D print those like fan adapters that you're talking about if you have a 3D printer.
Stuff that under there. Gotta get our RGB controller. You guys ready for the peel? How do you peel this? Oh, there it is. Oh, this is a really unsatisfying peel. Oh, there it goes. Ah. It's not even shiny underneath. Why did they protect it? Oh, that's right. This is simulating the motherboard end. I was like, why does it have pins on it? But no, it's just simulating the motherboard connector. Okay, now I need to find a spare SATA, which is conveniently right here by the optical drive. There we go. Wow, this looks horrible on that looks horrible. Thankfully, you won't be able to see it that badly from the outside. Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta plug in the top fan, which means we are out of PWM. But I don't think I had it. Yeah, I didn't have it plugged into PWM on the other board because is that cable really that short? Oh no, that might not reach. Might not reach either fan header. This might be an issue. Why is the Noctua usually puts like ridiculously long fan cables on their fans, and they just didn't on the 200? What? Oh no. Well, that's gonna be an issue. Why? Yeah, that's it for the cable. Yeah, that's not gonna reach. Do I have a fan extension? I might. I think I'd have to look. I think I'm gonna have to go check my boxes Noctua fans to see if there's any to see if I have any fan extensions. That sucks. Yeah, it's just conveniently like that short from like either fan header on the motherboard. That really sucks. All right, I guess I'll be back. All right, I found a thing. Also, it started to rain here, which is like one of the like maybe. Well, I don't think it's like a big rain. We get like 5 seconds of rain, like probably like once a month, and then we get like an actual like rainstorm, maybe like once or twice a year. So I found this little Noctua fan extension. The problem is that this came on a little 40 mil 3-pin 5-volt fan, I think. And it says it's a low noise adapter, which I don't know what that means. Like there's not a I don't feel like I don't think there's a resistor in here. Oh. Wait, no, there is a resistor in here. Oh. Well, that's not quite what I wanted. Probably should have felt that first. I guess there is a resistor in there. But I was gonna say this is also only a 3-pin, and I need a 4-pin, and I was just gonna cut the edge of the connector off. But I guess I have to go get the other one. I probably should have just brought them all out. I just grabbed this one because I was like, ooh, it's a nice short one. That's perfect. But no, I guess I got to go grab the other one. All right, I'm back. I did grab the actual extension cable one. This one is still also only 3 pins, so I am gonna have to cut the edge off to, I think, fit this in there. Yeah, that's not gonna fit. Okay. Hopefully I don't regret this. I shouldn't. Not cutting anything critical. Just plastic. Besides, I wasn't using the extension cable to begin with. Well, that just fell into the case. I have no idea where that went. Well, I guess there's a piece of plastic in the case now, somewhere. But it does connect now. That's good. Let me see if I can shake the plastic piece out. I think it fell behind the back panel. That really sucks. Well, you know what? It's not conductive, it's just plastic, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. I guess I'll plug this into the top one then. I should have grabbed another zip tie. All right, let me go grab a zip tie real quick. tuck that under the CPU power cable. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. I know you guys can't see it, but it doesn't look too obvious now, so that's pretty good. Is that it? We're almost done. We just have the sound card and the GPU left. I think that's it. Let's get the sound card in. I don't have the other back plates for this yet. I probably have them somewhere, but I don't remember where they are. I'll deal with that later. It's not important at all. Oh, I forgot to screw in the other screws for the fans. Oops. Now we're good. Right, yeah, now it's just sound card and GPU. Oh, I forgot to plug in USB 2 headers. Where do those go? Oh boy. Well, there's one of them. Where'd the other one go? Oh, there it is. I gotta have my like 8-port USB hub. However, will I live without that? Really, I don't need that in this case since I have working front panel USB now. So I didn't on my original case at all. But I do in this case, albeit only one port works. But, you know, I figured I should carry it over anyways because it's dumb and ridiculous. Yeah, cable management looks horrible in this. Oh, that's so gross. I didn't even realize that. I know you can't see it on camera, but like the AC97 plug is like just clogged with dust in there. Ship a thesis, but it's a computer. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely not the same XP machine anymore for sure, but yeah, there's not a single thing in here that's the same now other than the hard drive and the DVD drive. And the USB hub as well, I think. I didn't replace the USB on here. This has 2 USB ports on the case. One of them is broken, but the other one's fine. It also has FireWire, which this board does not have a FireWire header on it. And I don't even know where the header for that is. And I don't care, because it's FireWire and I don't use it. But yeah. And then I still have my 8-port USB hub. Which front USB was broken? It's this one. The plastic is snapped off in it. I could desolder it and fix it, but I just don't think it's worth the effort. I don't need that much USB when I have, you know, when I have all of these. Or I guess it's only a 7-port. Yeah, it's only 7 still. That's still more USB than I'd ever actually need on the system. Yeah, it's just GPU time now. I'm gonna have to take that out. just going to move that one down there. I do want to get a USB 3 card for the Windows 7 machine, actually. Like, it'd be funny to get one for the XP machine as well, but I do want to get one for the Windows 7 machine at some point. This GPU is a lot bigger than the other one. All these cables are in the way now. Okay, yeah, that's actually gonna be a slight problem. There we go. Okay, I think that's it. Let me make sure the side panel actually fits still, because that cable's sitting up pretty high. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fine. Beautiful. Now I just got to put the fan on the side panel. But we will test it with the side panel off, because we all know it's bad luck to try out the computer you just built with the side panel on. I also didn't think about really how I'm going to test it. I guess I could hook it up to the stream monitor. That is going to be kind of tricky, actually. I probably should have thought of that. Oh yeah, that's right. This doesn't need any screws. This just clips on there. Hopefully these clips don't break. Oh, okay, there we go. And I think I'm going to set this to... Yeah, I'll probably leave it at high just to start with. Alright. So I need power. Need power, keyboard. I guess I can just use the stream monitor. I don't really want to pull another monitor out, but I guess I could. Alright. Yeah, let me go get a power cable, a keyboard for that, and then I guess I'll grab a monitor, and then we can at least turn it on and see. And then, like I said, we're going to do all the software, like XP reinstallation, drivers, overclocking, testing games on it, probably on Tuesday. I'd do it tomorrow, but I'm going to be busy tomorrow night. All right, let me go get that. I'm back. Think we got everything we need. I think what I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna use the camcorder for everything. Oh yeah, me and Goo, we just got a flash flood warning, uh, which is always a joke because it never actually rains enough for it to really have a flash flood around here. They just have to do it for the sake of doing it. I mean, if you're like way out in the desert, you're not in like a town or anything, then yeah, it can be kind of dangerous, but usually it's nothing to actually like get super worried about. That's good enough for testing. We're not going for presentation much here. We just need to see the thing turn on and get into the BIOS. I hope this power cable can reach. I'm gonna take the mic off for a second. The power cable barely reached. I did not think about the monitor cable. That is really short. Well, that sucks. How am I gonna plug in the I did not realize the power cable was this short on the monitor. Is there anything I can use to extend this? Not conveniently, of course. Yeah, it's not a webcam. It's a 1986 RCA VHS camcorder. You know I'm getting desperate when I'm breaking out the like actual like extension cord just to plug in stuff. I am unplugging one of my lights at the moment. Okay. And this will actually be better for viewing the monitor. Is this on? There we go. Okay. Monitor does have DVI, but it only has a VGA cable attached to it. So we're just gonna adapt it because I didn't feel like trying to find a DVI cable. Okay. Let me plug in the keyboard. All right. I'm turning her on. Right, it did. Right, it turned off and then immediately turned on, immediately turned off. Turning on again. I think it did this like once or twice the first time I tried turning it on. Hey, there we go. Nice. The fans are yellow at the moment. Hey, there's a BIOS. Not that you can read it. I might zoom in a little bit in a minute. Let me see if I can change those fans. You can kind of see them through the other side. So let's see. B is probably brightness. No, B is color. Why? Ooh, that's a nice blue. It's a layer blue. That's too light. Purple, white. Ugh. Oh, how could anyone live with that? That is horrible. That's a static rainbow. Red, yellow, green, blue. All right. We're leaving it at blue. What does M do? Okay, that's mode. Okay. What does S do? S is brightness. Why is S brightness? Shouldn't it be B? I'm going to set it to like, I think the second lowest. I think that's pretty good looking. All right. I gotta sneeze. Ugh, I'm good now. Let me see if I can zoom in. But that was too high. How did I go too high with it? Oh, come on, almost there. Close enough. We're gonna live with that. I can tilt the monitor to compensate. Hey, there we go. All right, yeah, we're not gonna overclock now. I just wanted to see if everything is coming through. I can barely read it. Let's set the time. Oh yeah, we also got to update the BIOS. We'll probably do that in the next stream, just because I don't remember how you flash the BIOS on this. I think you might have to do it within Windows, or I think it's like a Windows executable that you have to run to like uncompress the thing. I think you're supposed to flash it in Windows. It's probably also not wise to do it in, considering that it is raining, or it was raining, which is not the greatest for power stability, and I don't have a UPS. You're not watching VHS, but you are watching through a VHS camcorder. I kind of want to leave. I kind of want to leave the date as 2010, as cool as that would be, but I almost said it to 2024 because I was like, oh yeah, that's what the year is. Press the end key. I didn't do anything. What time is it? It is 6:05. So 18:04. Yeah, it was already on 4. That's nice. I actually can read this like surprisingly well, considering that I'm looking through a worse preview of it than you guys are, because like I'm not looking directly at this. I'm looking through the stream. Let's see, DVD drive showing up, hard drive is showing up. Why is it showing up under IDE? We're gonna have to set that to AHCI, and I'm probably going to. I could probably slipstream the drivers into my XP disk to boot this with. Quick boot disabled. We can turn that on now. First boot device should be CD-ROM, and then USB HDD. And third should be hard disk. There we go. No execute memory protect. When disabled, forces the NX feature flag to always return 0. I guess we'll leave that on for now. Enhanced halt. Reduce core clock. I don't think we want that on if we're going to overclock later. I mean, we'll double check all this. We'll double check all of it later. Let me see. C2, C2E state. Yeah, CPU will enter C1 state and reduce core clock and system bus ratio. Yeah, we don't want that on for overclocking. CPU thermal monitor enabled, yes. EIST protection. What's that? Driver manages clock and BID to best serve the thermal performance requirements. We don't want that on. Yeah, driver does not manage. Yeah, we have that disabled. Okay. Virtualization, yeah, we'll leave that on. Full screen logo, I'll disable that for the moment. It's not the coolest splash screen, but I might turn it back on later. Backup BIOS image to HDD. What? Why is that's just a feature? Hold on, wait, what? Save a copy of BIOS image to HDD. If BIOS data is corrupted by any means, such as virus attack, this copy will be used in the BIOS self-recovery mechanism. Well, you know what? You might as well turn that on. I don't see why not to. Net display first. PEG. That's PCI Express graphics. Why would it be set to PCI first? Integrated peripherals. SATA HCI mode, set that to HCI. Although we probably will need slipstream drivers in there for it to be able to install XP, but I want the full speed. SATA port 0 through 3 native mode. Yeah, I want that enabled. Wait. SATA port 0 to 3 will work in native IDE mode. Disabled will work at legacy IDE mode. Is it just using the term IDE as a catch-all? Or does it mean it's actually IDE? Because that doesn't make any sense. I assume it means native mode, that it's going to actually run like AHCI and not be IDE. Because it seems really weird that they would only give you then 2 SATA ports that are actually SATA. Azalea codec. That's audio. We don't want the onboard audio. Onboard LAN? Yes. Greenland. What? Dynamic turn LAN chips clock off. Yeah, I just Win setup from USB is my favorite way to get SATA for XP installs. I assume that just lets you slipstream stuff and then boot from a USB. Is that correct? Because I've never actually heard of that. I know of like easy to boot, which I've never used before, but Win setup from USB. I'll check that out because I'd rather not have to burn a disk if I don't have to. Win setup from USB. All right, all right. All right, I got that saved. I'll look into that later. Um, oh, I didn't know Phil did a tutorial on it. I only know he did easy to boot. I didn't know he did a different one. I'll watch the Phil video then. Smart LAN. Start detecting at port. Okay, whatever. Uh-oh. Why can I not exit? Oh, what is it doing? Dude, stop. Just let me exit. I don't want you to scan the network or whatever you're doing. Yeah, it actually doesn't okay, there we go. Finally. It's diagging the LAN. Okay. Smart LAN. We don't want to go back into that. Onboard LAN boot ROM, don't need it. Onboard IDE controller, we don't need that because we don't have any IDE drives. I'm going to turn off the serial and parallel because we don't need them. Not that we'd run into any conflicts probably, but we just don't need them on. Legacy support of USB mouse. We'll leave that on. Well, we don't need legacy support, I don't think. Turning them off frees up cycles. Okay, yeah. Because it's not like Windows 98 era stuff or anything. So I don't think we need to worry about that. You're right. I could just leave them. I could just leave it as in IDE mode until after I install it, and then just install the drivers, set it to HCI. That is true. I could just do that. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna double check the BIOS settings before we get too far into the software and overclocking on Tuesday. Oh, I just realized it has QFlash. It's got a you can just flash from the BIOS, but I still need to get I would still have to extract the thing, and I really don't feel like doing that today because we've been streaming for 3.5 hours. Yeah, so we can leave that as IDE for the moment. I guess till we get XP installed. S3, yeah, that's fine. What? PME wake. PME wake. I don't know what PME exactly is. That's not LAN, is it? Power on ring. That's for modem. Resume by alarm, no. I'm just gonna leave that off because I don't know what it is. I assume, I mean, I'm probably never gonna use sleep on the computer anyways, but yeah, I don't know. That's power on. I don't need any of this to be powered on. HPET mode. What is HPET? High precision event timer function. This is power management. We probably don't really want that much power management stuff on if we're going to overclock. Let me look up what HPET actually is. It just says high precision C event timer, but that doesn't really tell me anything. Okay, apparently replaces the older timers or something. It's nice to have HPET, I think. Okay. PME is power management event. Might be right. I mean, we can just leave that off because we don't really need that on. But yeah, I think we'll leave HPET on. We'll leave it in 32 bits since XP 32 bits what's going to go on here. We don't need power on from keyboard or mouse. I can just press the button. That's if the power goes out, I believe. ERP support. Oh yeah, that was that thing on the motherboard. I don't think we need that. Yeah, leave that as auto. PC health. Let's see. Current system temperature is 42°C. That's probably the North Bridge. Current CPU temperature 35. That's very good. CPU warning temperature. I'm going to set that to, what is that? 60, 70, 80, 90? Yeah. We'll set that to 70 because you really should not have, Core 2 Duo should not be going above 70. The power on keyboard only works with PS2 if the PC is not already on standby. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to leave it off because I don't need to worry about it. Wait, hold on. I hit 70. Wait, what? I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I forgot. I didn't realize disabled was an option. There we go. All right, 70. Yeah, a Core 2 Duo should not be getting to 70, ideally. CPU fan fail warning. Yeah, I'll put that on. I didn't even check if all the fans are spinning, which they are, so that's good. We feel the chipset heatsink. Wow, that is already, the chipset heatsink is already warm. The CPU fan is pulling some air like right on top of it too, so that's pretty nice. And then once I get that side panel fan on, I think that'll help it too. And I don't think I need to worry about CPU smart fan control. We're gonna enabled. Does that actually lets me enable it, but I don't think it lets me change what the temperature targets are. Unless it goes off the warning temperature. I guess I could leave it as auto. CPU smart fan is controlled by the BIOS, I guess. And CPU smart fan mode, PWM. Yeah, we want that as PWM. I guess we'll just leave the fan speed at auto. I mean, the Hyper 212 is pretty good. I don't think it ever got above like 55 degrees before with the Hyper 212 Black, so I don't think it'll really be much different. All right, we'll just save and exit. I'm kind of curious if XP will even boot still on this. I have a feeling it's probably going to blue screen because I'm going to try to load NVIDIA drivers. Okay, I have to say, the Thermalright fans move more air than I thought they would. And they are pretty quiet too. So that's pretty good. Is this actually going to boot? Wow, it's actually, wow. I did not think it would actually boot. I mean, I don't have chipset drivers installed, but I mean, we can at least go, oh yeah, I can't, I can't, yeah, I can't do keyboard because no USB drivers, but okay. Moved from iPhone to Android. I did. I have like a Moto G Power or something. I kind of hate it, honestly. The cheap Android experience is not good in my opinion. Ideally, you should just get a just buy a used flagship Android, in my opinion. But right, well, yeah, it even responds to the power button command. That's nice. Hi, did you just? I think you just joined the stream. Like we're almost done, at least for today. I'm probably gonna stream on Tuesday where we actually reinstall XP and everything. Okay, I guess I'll zoom out. I'm gonna zoom out, and then we'll do. I guess I'll just stick the side panel on so you can see the side panel fan, and then I think we're gonna call it for today. Because the next stream is gonna be entirely like stream capture. Yeah, like capture card based. Get that light turned back on. Let me unplug this. Get that out of the way. I just have to find a Molex now. Oh, there's one. Oops. Sorry, I hit the mic. Alright, so I set the fan speed to high on this. The only problem is that these the fan cables are going to be kind of annoying to look at, but it's already so messy in there that who cares? It's just part of the experience. Why won't you go on? Oh, it's hitting the Hyper 212. Oh, okay. Well, that's a problem. Huh. Yeah, because on the other board, the socket was, I think, further up on the board by a little bit. And so the fan could clear it. But yeah, the top corner of the fan is hitting the Hyper 212. What could I do about that? I didn't really want to not have the side panel fan, purely because I want to help cool the chipset. Let me see, how much is it hitting it by? It's like just the corner of it by a slim fan. That might help it a little bit. I don't really want to go buy a fan though. I could cut the fan, or I could move the Hyper 212's fan to the other side, which generally blowing air through the heatsink is better than pulling it through, but I could do that. Yeah, I mean, I could just cut the fan, though. I'd rather have the air blow through the heatsink than be pulled through it. I'd only have to cut the bottom part of the fan. Yeah, I mean, the pull config probably isn't that bad. It's like borderline. Yeah, it's really borderline. If you just cutting the one thing would be fine. I think we'll probably just we'll try running it in a pull configuration, and when we overclock it, we'll just monitor the temps to see if that's going to be a problem or not. Because like this, the CPU does not pull that much power. It's like, I think it's like a 65 watt something TDP. And then overclock, you know, whatever. It's not terrible. I'm not a big fan of the fan clips on this fan, or for the Hyper 212. I just wish it had the metal clips. This just takes more time. Like this just takes more time than should be necessary. Like I could have swapped the fan like 5 times if it was just the wire clips. Which, I mean, I guess I could have grabbed the other ones from the black, because I think I could probably get him to latch into the grooves on the cooler, but then the black wouldn't have them. So oh, great. Okay, it didn't land anywhere difficult. Yeah, the rubber things are just falling off now, because of course they are. Because it's got like 10-year-old glue on it. This fan actually is almost 10 years old. This was October 23rd, 2015. I still haven't gotten over the fact that 2015 is 10 years ago. Like, I created this channel like 10 years ago almost. Not that I uploaded that soon. It wasn't until like 2017. Okay. There we go. Why is it 4x3? Because you're watching through a 1986 RCA camcorder. because I had two camera setups. The overhead camera is gone at the moment. Why won't you go down? What is it hitting? What is it getting caught on? Oh, there we go. Yeah, the first ever stream I did was using two Sony Handycams. That was when I did the Dell Latitude stream that we didn't get the Dell actually working correctly on. That was like a year ago. I could have used the Handycams, but I had this camcorder sitting around forever and I wanted to do something with it. Alright. The fan is now in a pull configuration, so it does look slightly awkward. But on the bright side, we can now blow air. Now blow air right on the chipset, which will be definitely a good thing. So all right. So that's how it looks. Let me plug the power back in so we can test the fan. There we go. Yeah. See, that fan looks cool. And then you can't see the front ones from this angle, but yeah. So that's looks like it's not too loud. And I can feel it's sucking some air. Like that's some serious airflow going on. So yeah, I think that's gonna help the chipset out a lot. And the 200 mil blows a decent amount of air up. So that's going to exhaust all the CPU heat directly out, and hopefully anything from the chipset and VRMs, which don't have heat sinks. But yeah, it'll help cool the GPU backplate as well. All right. Well, there we go. Let me pull the camera back up. But yeah. Here we go. XP machine is ready to go for software. I think it looks pretty nice. Not that you can tell, really, but I think the new color scheme looks pretty good on it. Going for all blue and black. Because before I had the white fans, and I mean, I'm pretty sure white LED fans did exist in the mid to late 2000s, but they weren't like that common. So yeah, this is a problem with the camera. It's like a weird depth focus. It doesn't like it's not like a modern autofocus. So like it thinks the case is the closest kind of like giant object to it, which I mean technically it is, but yeah, see it's like phasing in and out of focus. Yeah, it's awkward. If I move this, yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's basically it for the stream today. God, that's 3 hours, 46 minutes. Jeez. Yeah, that's it. I have a lot of stuff to clean up. There's stuff strewn all over here, but yeah, I should be streaming Tuesday, hopefully. If that doesn't work out, then I might stream like Thursday or Friday, but I should be able to do Tuesday. It's not a Sony camcorder, it's a RCA
camcorder, which I think is made by JVC. The tape mechanism doesn't work or anything, but it used to when I first got it, and then yeah, the tape mechanism just yeah, it's an old tape mechanism. I mean, what do you want out of it? Also, the audio circuitry has always been screwed up on the camera. It just outputs like a slight amount of static, and that's it. Doesn't matter if you're outputting to a TV or when the tape did work, the tape. Well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream then, since I don't really have anything else to do today. I think splitting the stream up was a great idea because that took not long. The build itself was only like 2 hours, which is what I expected. It was me talking for like an hour and a half that made it longer. So yeah, I should be streaming Tuesday. If not, then hopefully some other time later this week. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. And yeah, I will try to edit this stream down into a video as well. The full-length VOD is going to stay up in case you missed any parts and you want to go back and watch it. But I am going to try to edit these streams down into videos that hopefully aren't too terribly long. They'll be kind of sort of highlight-ish videos, I guess, but not in the traditional sense of like streamer highlights. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for the next stream then. I got to give it enough time to for YouTube to actually catch up. Because I don't know what the delay is.